the sound to silence the cars. We're cutting like knives in a fist fight. And I found you with a bottle of wine, your head in the curtains, and heart like the 4th of July. You swore and said we are not shining stars. This I know, I never said we are. Though I've never been through hell like that, I've closed enough windows to know you can never look back. If you're lost and alone, or you're sinking like a stone, carry on. May your past be the sound of your feet upon the ground. Carry on. Carry on, carry on. So I met up with some friends at the edge of the night at a bar of 75. And we talked and talked about how our parents will die, all our neighbors and wives. But I'd like to think I can cheat it all to make up for the times I've been cheated on. And it's nice to know when I was left for dead, I was found and out on all these streets. I am not the ghost you ought to be. If you're lost and alone, know you're sinking like a stone. Carry on. May your past be the sound of your feet upon the ground, and carry on. Oh, my head is on fire, but my legs are fine. After all, they are mine. Lay your clothes down on the floor. Close the door, hold the phone, show me how. No one's ever gonna stop us tonight. Cause we are the shining stars. We are invincible. We are on our darkest day, when we're miles away. So we'll always find a way home. If you're lost and alone, or you're sinking like a stone, carry on. May your past be the sound of your feet upon the ground, and carry on. No one down, no one down, no one down, no one down, no one down.
Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to the National MS Society Utah Southern Idaho Chapter's 2014 Annual Celebration and Event Season Kickoff, streaming live from the snow-capped peaks of Salt Lake City, Utah. Now, please put your hands together for our chapter board chair, Safia Keller.
Good morning, everyone. Yes. Good morning, everyone. Whether you're here in Salt Lake City or at the viewing party in Boise, or if you're watching at home, thank you so much for joining us. We are absolutely sold out and at capacity, so that's really, really exciting. I am really pleased and honored to serve as the volunteer board chair for the Utah Southern Idaho chapter. And that video, what about that video? When we saw that for the first time at the national meeting, the table of the folks from the Utah Southern Idaho chapter, we were all just in tears. It was an absolutely really moving video. It was created by Rebecca Kuchar, who launched a Walk MS team in honor of her dad. And when Rebecca herself was diagnosed, this video was the way in which she shared her diagnosis. And little did she know that it would go viral and resonate with thousands and connect them all to the MS movement. As a society, we have focused the past few years on the power of connections and how simple actions can create a ripple effect and join people near and far. This morning, we're thrilled to celebrate the many great connections we've made here in the Utah Southern Idaho chapter this past year. Connections that enable us to inspire hope, discover new resources, and continue to advance the MS movement. One of the wonderful connections I'd like to mention and thank and celebrate right now is the University Guest House. As today's presenting sponsor, they've not only provided this wonderful space, they've underwritten the entire event for us, which is absolutely fabulous. Here to share a little bit about the University Guest House is their marketing manager, Debbie Tucker. Debbie.
Good morning. On behalf of the University Guest House, I welcome you here to the beautiful Fort Douglas Ballroom. I have to say that our sponsorship over the last few years has been with the MS 150 in Logan, and it is just a little bit more interesting when you're all in bike shorts. Sorry, just saying. We had a lot of fun up there for many, many summers, but we're so happy to welcome you here. This beautiful facility that you are in is part of our expansion that was done in 2011. And we have 50 new guest rooms right above us, as well as this beautiful new ballroom. How many of you are here for the very first time to the guest house? Great. And you didn't know where you were coming, and you didn't know you were going to be in the middle of this beautiful Fort Douglas area. But we are honored to have you here. We have 180 sleeping rooms here in the hotel. And we have, in our hotel, we offer free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and free parking, which, as you know, is the most important thing on the University of Utah campus. So we're grateful for that. We invite you to come back many, many times. We're proud to say that our small hotel here, out of 78 properties in the Salt Lake Valley, has been #1 on TripAdvisor for well over a year now. So we are very grateful to our loyal guests who share their experience with others, and then all of you that come in and stay in our hotel and are so wonderfully surprised at the beautiful facility and all the amenities that you get for such a wonderful price. We're sold out the next 3 days, and so we're grateful to have you here if some of you are staying with us. The guest house is the perfect place to stay if you are visiting any of the hospital facilities here on campus. The Moran Eye Center, the Orthopedic Center, the Huntsman Center, Primary Children's, and of course all the U of U hospitals. We are within walking distance of all of those facilities, and we have a campus or a hotel shuttle that will take you to your appointments and then return you back here to the guest house. You can even make a reservation for the guest house at the customer service desk at the University Hospital. They can make you keys and bring your luggage over here. So when you're done with your appointment, you can come right over here to the guest house and settle right in. We have 24-hour coffee, tea, drink service up in our lobby, and we're so grateful to have patients. We really do hospital patients well here. Our staff is trained to help in any way we can. We also have some wonderful meeting facilities, which I'll just quickly mention. The Post Chapel, the Post Theater, the Officers Club, the Commander's House, and of course this beautiful ballroom and our outdoor areas. We invite you to come back, bring your conferences, your small meetings, your weddings, and any other event that you have. We love the MS Society. I personally have family and friends who are suffering, and we all have a very heartfelt, vested interest in this society, and wish you all the best and for all the good work you do. And again, welcome to the University Guest House. Out in the lobby, there's some information and a little free gift for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Debbie. And let's give them another giant round of applause for providing this lovely meal in these facilities. So before we get the celebration started, we have to take care of some formal business, as this is our annual meeting. Every great organization relies on the strength of their leaders to guide the work and increase its capacity and hold the organization accountable. You all play a vital role, whether you make a donation to the National MS Society, whether you live with MS. Every single one of you are members of this organization, and with that comes the responsibility to confirm our Board of Trustees annually. It is an honor for me to present our slate of trustees. Trustees, if you're here, please stand so we can recognize this very powerful team of leaders. So this is the part of the program for us to hear your voice, and I'd like to ask all of you to accept our 2014 Board of Trustee nominations. And if there's no objection, okay, so I need my board. So I need to, and what I'm going to do is I am going to recognize everyone that I see in the room. Bob Harmon, past board chair of Harmon's. Love Bob Harmon. Annette Royal Mitchell, Dr. John Rose, Danny Vasquez, Cecil Hedger, Todd Oldroyd, and I want to say that's Nicole. I can't see that far away. Nicole, Sheila Steiner, Irene Petra George. Okay. I got Danny. Yep, got Danny. Jane Beer. Jay Germenken. How could I forget Jay Germenken? No, that's... So I'd like to ask all of you to affirm your support of our 2014 slate of officers and show your appreciation for these wonderful leaders with your applause. And if there are no objections, will you please affirm your support for our 2014 nominees? Thank you so much. And please join me in a moment of appreciation for our board and our nominees. They all do amazing, amazing work. I think I speak for all of us when I say that I'm proud to represent this organization. They operate with the utmost efficiency, adapt quickly to change, and innovate to find new and better ways to serve those who live with MS. The president, Annette Royal Mitchell, and her staff are truly one of the most amazing nonprofits I've had the honor to work with. They are incredible. Most importantly, the chapter keeps those who live with MS at the center of everything they do. How about a big hand for all of you out there who make our Utah Southern Idaho chapter possible? Thank you. And now I'm pleased to introduce our keynote speaker at MC. Many of you know his family well, and I can tell you their legacy lives on in this wonderful man, both in his big heart and in his musical talent. In one of those twists of fate, another legacy also lives on. The battle that his father, Alan Osmond, fights against, MS, has also become his son's battle. Here to share his story and how he's moving forward with passion and persistence, please welcome David Osmond.
Thank you. Appreciate it. What's up? Yeah. How you guys feeling this morning? Good. Nice. This side's crazy. It's that Cholula sauce, right? Do you guys know each other? We're all Utahns, right? Or Idahoans? 3 Idahoans. I was actually going to do an Idaho joke, but there's 2 reasons that Idaho jokes don't work. First of all, people from Idaho don't think they're funny. And second reason is everybody else don't think they're jokes. So, sorry. And they're all online, so they can't slap me right now. So, do you guys know each other, really? If you don't, I mean, I want you to reach across the person sitting next to you, shake your hand, say, "What's up? Good morning. How you doing?" Seriously, come on. We're friends. We're family. Yeah. Turn around to the table behind you. Say, "What's up, yo?" Yeah? Yeah? Okay, now that you guys know each other, I want you to borrow $100 from your neighbor and bring it right up to Annette Royal Mitchell. She would appreciate the donation. Now, did you guys have a good morning so far? Think you guys enjoy your breakfast? Yeah? Yeah, it was pretty good. Did you guys sleep well? No, me neither. Horrible night. Terrible. I had the craziest dream last night. I dreamt I was a muffler. It's weird. I woke up exhausted. You totally went with me on that. Thank you. Thank you. Now, this is really cool. This is my first time to the guest house. Thank you, Debbie Tucker, for welcoming us all and providing breakfast for us all. It was delicious, fantastic. In fact, I met the staff out in the hall beforehand. They were preparing the meal for us, and they gave me some tips I wanted to pass along to you. They said, "Hey, by the way, let everybody know there's something new going around that you need to make sure they know when they cook, is to never cook onions and beans together, ever." I went, "Whoa, really? Why? Is it toxic or something?" He goes, "Oh, yeah, it gives you tear gas." I'm just trying to wake you up. Speaking of which, I'm going to do something a little unorthodox for a stuffy meeting in suits and so on. They wanted me to wake everybody up a bit, and myself included. So if you'll indulge me, I'd love to get the party started. Can we do that? Will you sing a song with me? You will sing with me? See, I asked for a handheld wireless mic so I can go anywhere in the room. Like this. Wait, this is a good song. I got a feeling. I know it's morning, but whatever. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. I heard a Fergie over here go, woo-hoo. Just you ready? 'Cause I got a feeling. Tonight's gonna, this is the crazy table. And tonight's gonna, yeah, you can clap along. I know it's like 7 in the morning, but here we go. 1, 2, 3, come on. Tonight's the night. Let's live it up. We're here in Salt Lake. Let's have some fun. We've come together all for one cause. It's called MS, y'all. And you're the star. I know that we'll have a ball. If you get down and let go and just sing along. If you're feeling stressed out and you wanna let it go, then you gotta reach out from the comfort zone. If that's enough to get it started. What's your name, big guy? Leroy's spilling it, guys. Do you know this song? Yeah, do you know the Fergie part? Do you know that part? Okay, here we go. I got a feeling. Woo! Nice! Tonight's gonna... Hey, Augie, can you turn this one up a little bit? Yeah, tonight's gonna be a good night. Who else knows this song? Yeah, right. 'Cause I got a feeling. Sing it! Oh, it was terrible! It was horrible! We can do a lot better than that, especially this lady right here. You're the only one that raised your hand. Betsy, this is all you. Ready? 2, 1, 2. I got a feeling
that tonight's gonna be a good night.
Okay, all right. That was pretty good. That was gutsy. That was good. So let's get rid of that song completely. I brought a different song. It seemed a lot of you didn't know that one. I think you might know this one. Ready? 2, 1, 2. Well, you done me and you bet I felt it. I tried to beat you, but you're so hot that I melted. I hear her singing right behind me. How you doing? You know this song by heart? Yeah. Oh. Before the cool done run out, I'll be giving it my bestest. Nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's about my turn. What's your name?
Marilee.
You ready to sing this? 1, 2, oh.
I hesitate no more. If it cannot wait, I'm yours.
Give it up for little heat on this one. If you can. That's pretty good. That was really good. Thank you so much. Anybody else know this song? Yeah. This is, oh. So open up your eyes and see like me. Open up your plans and then you're free. Look into your heart and you'll find love, love, love. Yeah, to the music of the moment people dance. This is a great way to wake you up, I told you. Everyone's deer in the headlights. It's our God-given right to be loved. Yeah, you know this song, I knew it. Oh, so I won't hesitate. Arms folded, no way. Don't even come over here. No? Really? What's your name? Dennis, where you from? Cottonwood Heights. You came a long way. 10 much. Gee, did you walk? Don't like it, right? Yeah, well, you don't know this song at all. Anyone at the table? Striking out. Wearing a youth shirt and all. On campus. Yeah, oh, he knows it, she knows it. 1, 2, 1, 2, oh.
I won't hesitate no more, no more. This cannot wait. I'm yours.
There's no need
to complicate our time.
She's harmonizing. Is our fate.
I'm yours.
Give it up for Rachel. That's awesome. No, I got a different song. Different song. No one. You guys know Alicia Keys? Can get in the way of what I'm feeling. No one knows this song. Really? We're so. Okay, I got one. Here, check it out. Nope, woman, no cry. No woman. This is Bob Marley. Sing it with me. You know these words now? Nope, woman, no. You don't need to put Bob Marley lyrics on the screen. There's like 4 words. Okay, I got one for you. You gotta know this one. Especially, you ready? 1, 2, 3. One love. One heart, let's get together and beat MS. What do you say, huh?
One heart, let's get together and feel the.
These are hard words. Oh, I won't hesitate no more, no more. This cannot wait. Time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours. We got some singers in Utah, guys. We got some good ones. We got harmonizers. My name is David Osmond, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm yours. Thank you. I saw you singing. You've seen it before. Hey, nice harmonizing, by the way. That was fantastic. Wow, and you did know all the words. Representing. I see a lot of Ute fans in the crowd, right? Yeah, that's just, it is cool being here. It's a little bit weird because I was born in Provo. You know what? You know what BYU and University of Utah alumni have in common? They all applied to BYU. I think this is the first time someone's going to be thrown out of the guest house. No, if it weren't for the Utes, I got to be honest with you, I would never have met my wife. Seriously, it's completely because of the Utes going to the Fiesta Bowl in Arizona in 2004. That brought me down there, and it all worked out. So I do owe the Utes for that. Thank you so much. They asked me to come to share some thoughts with you, to sing with you, and you guys were. And to wake it up a little bit. What's that? What? No. There were like 4 words to Bob Marley. This is not a karaoke bar. We're not drunk. Come on. This is orange juice. You can remember the words. Anyway. Anyway, but they wanted me to share a little about who I am, why I'm here, and where I come from. I'm a Provo boy. I was born in Provo, and I grew up everywhere else, kind of traveling around like a rodeo clown. I have a large family. Maybe you guys have heard of a performing group called the Osmonds. I know you're not that old, but you are? I get asked 2 questions a lot in my life. I get asked pretty much on a daily basis. Someone comes up, whether it's at the grocery store, and I pull my credit card out. They look at it and they think it's kind of funny. They go, "Oh, so are you like one of the Osmonds?" They give that look. And I like it when they say that because I get to play a little stupid in town and be like, what do you mean? Well, you know what I mean, like Donnie and Marie, right? Who's that? You're from Utah and you don't even know who Donnie and Marie are? Well, let me tell you about Donnie and Marie. And then all of a sudden they're singing Puppy Love to me and Paper Roses. I'm like, this is awesome. And so the follow-up question, of course, is, okay. So who's your daddy? My dad is Alan Osmond, and he is the oldest of the performing Osmond brothers. He has fantastic hair, as you can tell. He looks a little bit more like this now, and he is an amazing guy, and many of you know him. He is just a stalwart gentleman and a hero to so many, including myself. But yeah, he's the oldest of this performing family, and they all sing. There's 7 groups of 7. 6 boys and 1 girl. Marie was the only girl of that performing group. My dad was, again, the oldest of this little barbershop quartet. He was born in Ogden, Utah. Anyone from Ogden? Yeah, representing. So born in Ogden, they grew up and they just loved music. They just loved it and didn't even know there was a business behind it. My grandpa taught them the ropes, taught them harmony and 4-part harmony. And they just ate it up. That's all they did. They sang everywhere. They were actually discovered, a lot of people don't know this, by the late, great Walt Disney. And there's a quote by Walt Disney I wanted to share with you. That's why I bring this up, because it's one of my favorites. He said this. He said, "You may not realize it when it happens to you, but a kick in the teeth just might be the best thing in the world for you." That's harsh. That's a wake-up call right there. But I believe it. I believe it to be true. After Walt Disney, there was a guy named Andy Williams who discovered this little group of boys, this barbershop quartet. And again, I know you're not old enough to know who this is. But he was an amazing guy and a dear friend of our family, and gave them a spotlight on the national television stage. And for many, many years in the 60s, they were regulars on this TV show, the Andy Williams Show. And since then, this family has been performing full-time. It's now been over 54 years, I believe, still performing. Isn't that amazing? It's really cool. I brought this slideshow of pictures along because I wanted to show you something. I mentioned there's 7 performers. My dad's the oldest, but he's not the oldest of the family. There's actually 2 older brothers that never performed, never really got on stage. Verl and Tom, right at the top right there, the 2 guys on the top right, are the 2 oldest, and they never performed. They never sang because they physically were not able to. They were both born deaf and hard of hearing. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people know them. They actually live here in Utah. And my Uncle Tom's actually a mailman down in Ephraim and about to retire after 30-some-odd years. Amazing guys. Incredible guys. Just brilliant. And they were a huge influence. In fact, it was because of these 2 boys that my dad and his younger brother started performing. When they realized when people started flipping coins at them, they're like, wow, we can make money doing this. And they wanted to, because as little boys, all they thought of, let's raise money so we can buy our older brother's hearing aids. You know, and that's really the motivating factor behind them performing. It was really because of these two gentlemen. And my grandma worked so hard with these boys. In fact, it was because of these two gentlemen and their influence on so many people and my grandma that she started a foundation to help all kids with challenges. And it was called the Osmond Foundation for Children of the World, which foundation to date just celebrated 30 years. They changed their name to what's better known as the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. A lot of people don't know that either, which is really cool. Started right here in Utah. That's the power of one. To see a problem and say, hey, you know, we got to do something about this. We got to fix this. And that was my grandma. That was her MO. And was blessed the lives of so many people. And she said something once I'll never forget towards the end of her life. She told me this. She said, you know what, David? It's amazing what we can accomplish when we don't care who gets the credit. Isn't that true? It's amazing. I mean, what if Washington could hear this? You know, we could get so much done. But in life, we can get so much done. And I have to thank so many of you, because so many of you are volunteers. You give of your time, and you do it unselfishly. You see the problem, say, we got to do something about this. You know, and yes, please give yourself a round of applause, because you are making miracles happen. My grandma reminds me of one of my favorite movies of all time. I'll share this with you real quick. The Wizard of Oz. My grandma is Dorothy to me in so many ways. And she is because of what the Wizard of Oz represents to me. Now, I'm going to give you a little movie trivia, see if you can follow me on this. But at the very end of the film, they're stuck in the Wicked Witch of the West castle, right? The Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion, and Toto 2, and Dorothy. They're all there. And they're in the top of the castle, right? And the O-E-O guys come along by, and they're trapped in this corner. Nice. Singers. And something happens. You remember what happens right at this moment? So they're all trapped, and the Wicked Witch of the West says something. What does she do? What does she do? How did you know that? No one ever knows that, and a 10-year-old gets it. This is amazing. So the Wicked Witch says, how about a little fire, Scarecrow, right? She lights her broomstick on fire. She lights the Scarecrow on fire. He's dancing around. What does Dorothy do? There's a convenient bucket of water sitting right there. I don't know how it got there. Someone was mopping the floor, and they just left it there. So she picks it up, she douses the fire, and the water hits the witch in the face, and the immortal words of the film are? Yes. And then she says that. I can't believe you know this. I didn't even know this. My cousin had to point it out to me. When he did, it changed the film for me. Powerful. Wow. She says this after I'm melting, what a world. And she's going down, she's dying. And then she says, pointing right at Dorothy, who would have thought that a good little girl like you could destroy all my beautiful wickedness? Poof. And then she's gone. Wow. That's the Wizard of Oz right there in one little phrase. Who would have thought that a good little girl like you could destroy all my beautiful wickedness? You know, I've had a chance to travel around for the last 7-8 years in the world of MS. And I know, before we even realize it, before we can comprehend how fast it's coming, that there are people already saying, you know, who would have thought that a good little girl like you or a good little boy like you could have destroyed such a wicked disease? And you're doing it. We're doing it. More has happened for MS in the last 5 years than the last 100. And it sounds crazy, but it's a good time to have MS because there's such hope on the horizon. And that is what's so powerful. It is so important to have that. And you're making that possible. And that was the power of Dorothy. And that's why my grandma was Dorothy to me, is to see that problem and say, who'd have thought that a good little girl like you could do such unbelievable things and miraculous things? To have that influence in my life was such a gift as a child. And my grandpa, he was a tough guy. He was a drill sergeant in the Army during World War II. And he raised his boys accordingly. He had 8 boys and 1 girl. They had barracks. They had inspections. They were marching in the morning, and he was tough. And that attitude is exactly, I think, what my dad needed. It's exactly what I need. It's this can-do attitude. And he would say it to me even as a kid, my grandpa. He says, David, you know what? It doesn't matter what it is in your life. You can do it. There's that stubborn attitude I know I have in me, and I'm grateful for it at times. Sometimes it's a curse, but the ability to say, you know what, I'm going to do this, and to have the faith that you can, and to overcome challenges. I know that blessed my dad tremendously, especially during a crazy time in our country during the Vietnam War, when my dad was in the military as well. And that you can do it, Alan. Attitude blessed his life tremendously. And my dad's been able to pass that down to me from my grandpa. And I share that with you because we're all family today. And I come from a large family. But they begin to multiply like rabbits. This is my family, and this is sometimes a typical Utah family. This isn't all of us, in fact, but I'm one of these little bunnies here, I guess you could say. And funny enough, my brothers and I, when we were just little, we started out as a barbershop quartet, just like my dad. Because as a kid, you don't know any different. You assume every kid's dad does this. They just get on stage and get on a tour bus and have screaming audiences and travel around, and that's normal. No, it's not. It's weird. But by the time you realize it, it's humbling. But at this age, we just loved music. And we would perform all the time. And we started out doing the same routines and the same numbers that my dad did when they were just kids. And we were actually discovered by the late, great Bob Hope, and put us on his Christmas specials, and we just kind of snowballed from there. In fact, doing the same routines again that my dad did when he was on the Bob Hope special when he was a kid. Got a little older, I changed my hairstyle a bit. As we got older, we changed into a boy band. I thought we were pretty cool. Used to tour with the New Kids on the Block. I think we had an endorsement from Aquanet here or something. But we had so much fun doing music. Again, just not realizing there was a business to it. We just loved music, and it was around us. We did a lot of music, a lot of different albums. In fact, even singing in different languages. Boku wa kimi o, kimi wa boku wo, kontou ni su. I don't even know what I'm singing, but I hear it's a beautiful song. As a family, we ended up uprooting from Utah. I remember I was about 12 years old, and my parents came and said, hey, we're moving to Branson, Missouri. What? Where's that? And we're opening a theater. And my first thought was, a movie theater? Why are we going to have a movie theater? But we had this performance theater where we did 350 shows a year out of this place. As a family, it was cool because people came to you and you didn't have to travel anymore. Had a chance to do a musical, Andrew Lloyd Webber musical for actually right here at the University of Utah, my first time when I was 17 years old. Joseph and the Amazing Techno Dreamcoat, and have done 5 companies subsequently. And actually, right here at University of Utah, took over for my Uncle Donnie, who looks like my Aunt Marie right here. But it was a great run. It was so much fun, and be able to do a whole new style of music. As I got older, I got a chance right here in Utah to do a little show called American Idol and be on there for a bit. Oh, thank you. Not a sore subject at all. We'll move on. Yeah, you should have voted for me. No, just no politics at play at all in that show. The magic of television. But it was so much fun, so great, and I made some great friends and had such a good time being able to represent Utah that way. Now I'm able to do my own music again, and now as a solo artist, and I've got a lot to sing about. Real quick, as we're going through the family photos here, I want to show you my brothers. I have 7 brothers, no sisters. So I don't know what's going on with the male dominance in this family, at least at this point. But we have a great time, never a dull moment, and a blast. Funny enough, a lot of Utahns will appreciate this. All my brothers, every one of us are Eagle Scouts, if you can believe that, with all of our travel. Totally credited to my mom. My mom earned 8 Eagle Scout awards on her own. Let's just put it that way. But they are amazing people, and I know many of you know them very, very well. And just incredible people, and this is my beautiful family. She wanted to be here this morning, but due to circumstances with our kids, my wife couldn't be here. But I wanted you to at least see her. She is a light in my life and a rock. Her name is Valerie, and I met her in the last place I ever thought I was going to meet my soulmate, the love of my life, my best friend, Las Vegas. Because of the Utes. I went down to Arizona. I traveled back through Vegas, and it was on New Year's Day that I met this beautiful individual and changed my life forever. We have girls. I don't know what's going on. But this is our oldest, and this is Saffron, and our second is Azalea. Two little flower girls, and they are precious to me. And I mean, I have no idea what I'm doing coming from all boys, but they are unbelievable. That's my family, and I appreciate you letting me share that with you, as they wanted me to kind of do the get to know you segment. My dad and I share something in common, not just music, not just name, not just so many things and passions that we have in life, but he is a true hero of mine for so many reasons, and he's gone through a lot in his life, and he's overcome and continues to overcome with such dignity and strength and stubbornness and determination. He was, performing his entire life, and as a little boy, I remember him slowly having to step off stage because here he's playing his guitar, and after a while, his hands are not making the chords. He can't do it, and his microphone, he's dropping it. He's tripping on stage. He can't do his dance moves. His trumpet, he can't move his fingers as fast, and all these instruments and this passion of his life since he was a little boy is slowly slipping away. And he eventually had to step off stage. Was diagnosed with something called multiple sclerosis, MS. Now, we know MS literally means many scars. The lesions, and it's an autoimmune disease that causes these scarrings, these lesions on the brain and demyelination, and it stops you from moving, and it affects everyone so differently. It's like a fingerprint. When my dad heard this years ago, almost 30 years ago, he didn't know what it meant. What's MS? What is that, many sons? I have no idea what this is. And there weren't many options for him. In fact, I believe his options were Tylenol and Advil. Come back in 6 months. Maybe we'll have something for you. And there wasn't a lot of prospect in the world of treatment for multiple sclerosis. In fact, a good friend of his, Annette Funicello, had MS before he did, and he relied on her as a support. He needed that. Someone else I can relate with. What is this? How do I deal with this? And some words she shared with him that really changed his life is that, it's not the disease, Alan, that gets you down. It really isn't. It's the lack of hope. And I think that's true for anything in life. Life is tough. My dad's always said that. You know what, David? Life is tough. But so are you. So you be tough right back. That's stubbornness, He spells it a little funny, this acronym. That's always stuck with me. He says, no matter what it is in your life, if it is multiple sclerosis, if it's cancer, if it's diabetes, like my younger brother, if it's financial problems, if it's addiction, if it's depression, challenges will come. Life is tough. So whatever that is, you have to target it. You have to recognize it first. See it. See it for what it is. Understand it. Do everything you can to read up on it. Learn about it. Get involved. Focus. Because life is full of distractions. Just don't lose that focus of where you want to be in your life and how to overcome this challenge, whatever it is. And the last F, and I think the most important, is to fight. Keep fighting. You won't believe the kind of things that you'll be able to accomplish when you you fight, sometimes stubbornly. And that right there is one of the many reasons why my dad is such a hero of mine. And through my dad and so many others I meet on a daily basis, I don't kid you, I've learned that we all have our own stories. We all have our own families. We all have our own backgrounds. We have such differences. And yet we have such similarities, cut from the same needle and thread. There's so much uniqueness about us, and there's so much that we have in common that we can relate. And we could pass the microphone around, and we could have a good laugh and a good cry all day long, because we all share something in common. And it's this that I've learned, that in life it will come. Pain, hardship, right? And sometimes it sucks. I know. Pain is inevitable for all. Different degrees, different intensities when you least expect it. But what I feel like I've learned over these last several years is, despite the fact that pain is inevitable in life, suffering is truly optional. I know that because I meet people that I can't imagine changing places with who have just the most beaming, bright smiles and the greatest attitudes. It's not always easy, but it is that hope and that choice. And as a kid growing up, to have a dad like that was such a gift, especially when this happened. And I'm performing all this music, and I'm pursuing this career. I'm living in L.A., and I'm dating this beautiful girl I met in Vegas. And 6 months after dating, I quickly start to go downhill. On Christmas Eve 2005, I actually did a performance for all the missionaries at the MTC in Provo. And I took my shoes off that night, and my feet felt like they were being crushed by a steamroller, just massive pain. And it wouldn't go away. Long story short, after a few months, that pain has moved all the way up to my chest. And then hit my hands. My eyesight diminished dramatically, and I thought it was mechanical. The last thing on my mind was MS, if you can believe that. Because this was totally different than my dad. This wasn't like his. He didn't have the pain. He didn't have the eyesight. And I'm dating this girl. And she stuck by my side. She stayed there. And helped me through it, trying to perform, trying to sing, trying to do anything from my wheelchair. Because quickly that pain turned into paralysis. And from the chest down, I wasn't able to move anymore. And when the words came that this looks like it's MS, I was in denial. I didn't believe it. I was having a hard time swallowing that pill. And when I came to the realization of what it was, and I've learned more about this disease in the last 8 years than I have my whole life with my dad having it, I started to understand and then tried to focus. And now I'm in that fight to overcome, because I still have multiple sclerosis. And even though I'm walking, there's a smart guy who said something once. He said there's 2 ways to live your life. You can live as if nothing is a miracle, or you can live as if everything is a miracle. And I know life is a miracle, and I do believe I'm living that. And today's a good day. In fact, since our wedding day, I've been back on my feet. And miracles do happen. If you don't believe in one, you've got to believe in one today, because you're looking at one. And I'm in that fight with you, learning. And this day was just an amazing day for the two of us as we came together, not knowing what the future was going to hold for either of us. A very emotional day. As I wrap up, I'd love to sing one more song, but share a few things with you that I believe beforehand, that I've learned over these last few years about multiple sclerosis, about life, about challenges. And the first one I want to share with you is a quote from one of my favorite authors of all time. Amazing guy, Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss was brilliant in so many ways. And this is one of his things that always stuck with me. He said this: I've heard there are troubles of more than one kind. Some come from ahead and some come from behind. But I've bought a big bat. And I'm ready, you see. And now my troubles? Yeah, they're going to have troubles with me. Isn't that cool? I love that. The visualization of having a weapon to fight back. And I'll tell you what, guys. Honestly speaking, this right here this morning, for you to get up early and come in and have a breakfast with us and have a microphone shoved in your face to sing, this is that weapon. It's a huge weapon. And it's fighting back in a massive way and changing the lives of people that you'll never even meet. You need to know that. This is powerful. This is a big bat. If you're a Bill and Ted's fan, his name is Socrates, but he said something really cool I got to share with you. He said this. He said, if all of the misfortunes in the world were laid in one common heap, whence everyone must take an equal portion, most people would be contented to take their own and depart. I so believe that. I promise you, as I said before, I meet someone every day that I cannot imagine changing places with. I know the cards I've been dealt. I know my challenges, but man, when I meet certain individuals that just blow me away, and then their attitude to back it up of, I can do it, just floors me and inspires me. You know, MS is a horrible way to meet great people. It really is. I wear a ring on my finger. That's another acronym that kind of became a family motto. Even before I had MS, I wore this ring. and it's ETTE. My brother kind of came up with the little slogan for the ring and everything, and it's a scriptural reference. Endure to the end. Now, that's a little too big for me. I'm going to be completely honest for you. Like, oh, I got to endure this? This sucks. All the way to the end? So I changed it a little bit so that I can live it, and I'll share it with you. It's this: endure to the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, if I can do this, I may not be all right, but I got tomorrow, right? Seriously. Now, I do believe that in life, some more things, the people don't get ahead because they have these goals, and they aim way too high, and they miss by a mile. But it's truly because people don't get ahead because they aim way too low, and they actually hit. You know what I mean? At the National MS Society, boy, having been recently to the national conference with all the different chapters coming together, and that you were there with many of your team, they are shooting high. Their goals are astronomically high. And I love that. Because even though as we go on this journey, as we keep our sights high, we may not know exactly what we're going to hit, but we're hitting some incredible things along the way. And that goal stays high, and I love that, and I appreciate that, everything that you guys are involved with. I believe in change. I believe change happens to all when you least expect it, right? Change. You know what? If you're going through the worst time of your life right now, and maybe there is someone in this room right now going through just the worst time, I promise you it's going to change. It just will. Ever so slightly sometimes, but it does. It evolves. Life has these peaks and valleys. We know that. That being said, you gotta remember that if you're going through the best time in your life right now, life's amazing. Couldn't get any better. That's awesome. But I believe in change. Just be prepared for it, because it will happen. As long as you're prepared, you shall not fear, right? As we know the saying. I believe that through these trials, through these challenges, through these tests, if we so choose, those tests can truly become part of our testimony as individuals, as human beings, what we believe, who we are, where we stand, what brings us joy. Whatever that testimony is through our trials, that defines us. I believe that being said, we're not just, physical beings occasionally having a spiritual experience in life. I truly believe we are spiritual beings, and we're having a very physical experience together. Not always easy. One last thing I want to share with you and sing about it is something that I learned, I think the most powerful, while I was in the depths of my first year with multiple sclerosis in my wheelchair, unable to move. And I was over at my parents' house down in Orem, and I was watching my just younger brother. And he was on the floor wrestling with his then 1-year-old son, just having a blast. It was that cute Hallmark moment between a father and a son. And as I'm sitting there with my fiancée, who I proposed to from the wheelchair, she said yes. I watched this play out in front of me, and change happened. I'm watching this with bright smile, and it was just, I couldn't help. It was intrinsically happening. It was joy. And from across the room as a fly on the wall, I watched this play out, and the change that occurred was my perspective. And all of a sudden, I didn't see it for what it was, and I saw it as a mocking right at me. How dare my brother do this right in front of me? I'm sorry. It just affected me so much, and I became so angry. I've had moments like this, and I just get, devastatingly angry and upset. Why? Why was the burning question? Why did this happen to me? Why did it have to happen to me? This is the thing I learned. I think the strongest thing I learned is that this question, this powerful question, I am never, ever, ever allowed to ask myself this question. I'm really not. Unless, the big caveat, unless I make sure that I ask myself this powerful question for every single moment of happiness and joy that has ever come into my life or ever will come into my life. And I promise you, every day I have to ask myself, why did this happen to me? I recognize that he who has a why in their life can conquer almost anyhow. And I've got a big why. And and with my 2 little girls now, I know how blessed I am. I know what a support system I have. And I also know how many people do not have that. I know how blessed I am. When I proposed to my wife from that wheelchair and people came up to her who didn't even really know her and said, are you sure? Are you sure you want to marry a Mormon? I'm not kidding. But you want to marry a disabled Mormon? Yes, yeah, but they didn't know it. Yes. And she said yes, in sickness and health. And that stubbornness, that determination, that unconditional love has changed me forever. Now, recognizing that so many people do not have that, you have to know this, as I mentioned, being family, this is that love. It's the love that's real. The fact that you're here shows that love. Now, maybe you're here because you owe a favor to your friend. They came to your event, you got to come to theirs. I don't know. But you're here. That's what matters. And by so doing, you will bless the lives of others you'll never meet. And that love that is unconditional is what so many people need. It's the hope that they crave for. I wrote a song about that moment when I proposed, thinking of my wife, saying yes. Not knowing what the future would hold, and still not knowing what the future would hold, but having hope together. I wanted to dedicate it to each and every one of you and thank you for your acts of unselfless love for so many people who need it so desperately. Thank you. This is also a good time to put your arm around the person sitting next to you and squeeze a little bit. And don't do that if they don't belong to you. Could get awkward. Since the day that we met, you've been a mystery. You started me guessing the moment that you kissed me. There's so much about you I still can't believe. Did you find you were falling like I had been falling for you? Were you counting the days before seeing my face? Tell the truth. Does love like this really just happen? Baby, forgive me for asking. How could it be? You wanted me. Angels like you don't come through my world. Baby, you need to know what you did to me, girl. You made me love you so much that it hurts. Did you find you were falling like I had been falling for you? Were you counting the days before seeing my face? Tell the truth. Does love like this really just happen? Baby, forgive me for asking. How could it be? You wanted me, and now I'll never be the same. Could never go back before I felt your love for me. Did you find you were falling like I had been falling for you? Were you counting the days before seeing my face? Tell the truth. Does the Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks. Stop it. Thank you sincerely. God bless. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very much. And Annette, thank you so much for the invitation to come and spend this morning with you. Have a wonderful meal, guest house, and to be here with all of you. You truly inspire me, and I don't say that lightly. You really do. There's so many great people in this world, and you're at the top. I say that from a selfish point of view. Because, man, I want to get rid of this stupid disease so bad. And even though the crushing pain, which is lightened up in my body, it's still there. And like the immortal words of my father, he's always said, you know what, David, I may have MS, but MS does not have me. And he's always lived his life that way, and it's commendable. And I appreciate that. And so many of you also are right there in the trenches with us. For how many of you is this your first time to an MS function? Or you've been here before? Only a couple of you? Should be all of you. No, but thank you again for coming out this morning. This is great, and it is an annual meeting. We kind of got the business out of the way. But this is a celebration, too, a celebration of life, and celebrating you and this wonderful community which we live in. And I'm honored to be a part of it, to call you friends, to call you neighbors and family. In fact, half of you are probably my cousins. But this is fantastic. I'd love to keep this celebration rolling, and I'd love you to give a huge round of applause to one of my heroes as well as she joins me on stage, the president of the National MS Society, Utah Southern Idaho chapter, Annette Royal Mitchell. Give it up for her.
Wow, what a message. And talk about being tough and the power of one. I can't think of anybody in our community who emulates that more than you, David. But I do need to let you know that I got a few phone calls and texts during your presentation from Idaho, and I think they want a rebuttal. So we will make sure that we create that opportunity here in the future, for sure. But please, anytime, please help me again in just thanking David for this amazing thing. And actually, following David, it's kind of a hard act to follow, but I'm excited that I get this opportunity. I think you all know that every year our chapter sets out to make a real difference in our MS community. And this morning, we're going to share some stories of collective successes that we've had, and frankly, successes that we've only had because of virtually each and every one of you. I'm going to start. I come from not a long line of singers like David. I come from a long line, generations and generations of school teachers. So we like report cards. And so you all, when you checked in, you got our report card for last year, our 2013 annual report. For any of those of you joining us from home, you can download that on our website. But I'm really proud of this report. And I hope you'll take a chance to really read it. And I think what you will find is that we have remarkable support from our volunteers and donors. You're going to find that the resources that you have given to us, that we have taken with great accountability and great responsibility. And you're going to see that we change lives for the better, and you are also going to find hope for the opportunities that we have on the horizon. So I'm counting on each of you to grow our connections, to take this, read it, and share it with a friend. Our mission, as you all know, is to impact the lives for people, all people affected by MS. And a few years ago, the Society really felt that we needed to hear from our community. What is it that we should be focusing on? And we did a nationwide survey, and there was a resounding response, and the answer was research. And I'm not surprised, because research is truly the one thing that can virtually help every single person affected by MS. And so from that study, a great new campaign, the No Opportunity Wasted campaign, you'll hear us call it NOW for its NOW, No Opportunity Wasted campaign, was born. And it was a bold initiative, kind of a crazy gulper initiative, that we were going to raise $250 million. That's $250 million for research. And that call was sent out across the nation to every chapter to say, what can you do? And here locally, our chapter board, the board that you voted in here just a few minutes ago, is really generated by an amazing group of leaders. And they too said, well, this is a gulper, and so we need to set a goal, but we need to set a goal that's going to stretch us just outside of our comfort level. So they came up with a number of $3.2 million that we were going to raise in our little chapter here in Idaho and Utah. And as a chapter president, I gulped. And it indeed is a broad, a phenomenal goal. But I have to tell you that today I celebrate because as of this month, we have officially passed the halfway mark to that campaign. And in 2013, we raised over $500,000 for research alone. So thank you to you. I think the key here is understanding that this funding really is part of the web that connects our researchers to opportunities. So that is really exciting to me. And in the months ahead, in 2014, you're going to hear us talk a lot about some of our focus areas, things like progressive MS, nervous system repair, wellness and lifestyle. Some really exciting things that we know we have got to delve deeper in, and we've got to find answers, we've got to find tools. One of the areas that's really exciting to me right now is what research is happening with existing drug therapies. One of those is a therapy called ibutylast, and it's being studied right now because it actually is currently being used to treat asthma, of all things, in Japan and Korea. But what they are finding in some of the research studies is that ibutylast is looking like it is decreasing the inflammation response and helping to protect the nervous system. But get this, in progressive MS. And you heard me, and now I get emotional because you heard me say progressive MS. This is a line of research whose door has been closed for far too long. And I am so excited about the opportunities that are coming there. And I know a group of you are going to hear Dr. Rose a bit later talking about some of the exciting things in progressive MS. There are a lot of other studies going on. Another study here in the United States is also taking these repurposed drugs and trying to find ways that they are helping our population. And another study here is taking actually a whole list of different pharmaceutical agents and testing them in the MS population to see what makes a difference. And they are finding some that are showing signs, showing hope of preventing myelin damage. And I don't need to tell all of you what that means because we all know myelin damage is what causes our disability. So really exciting stuff that's on the horizon just by looking at these therapies that are already existing in the pipeline. And why I'm excited about that is because they are already existing in the pipeline, they've already proven safe in human consumption. So that just means they're farther down the pipeline to us, to getting to us. So I'm excited about those along with so many others. So I hope you do keep up to date on our research updates. But thinking about this and thinking about our theme of connections today, you realize that the collaborations that we are making with other disease groups, with other MS agencies around the country and around the world, with funders and donors, many of whom are in this room, that we are indeed increasing our speed and our progress to finding a solution to this terrible disease. You know, the National MS Society today is funding 380 studies around the world, and with those that we partner, our collaborators, they're funding hundreds more, and we truly have great momentum in this cause, in this beast. But it does remind me how important the work we do every day to raise dollars is to support this cause of research. And to make this kind of radical progress, we truly need passionate leaders in this work. And one of those we have right here in our own chapter territory. I think you will know him well. He's a volunteer. He's a sponsor of our chapter. He is the leader of our largest bike team, and he is also a longtime trustee. So I hope you'll welcome Bob Harmon to the stage. Thanks, Bob. Oops, I don't know if I'm on. I might have to share the mic with you. Am I on? Ooh, I think there we go. Okay. So When we first started talking about the Now campaign, Bob, we had quite a discussion in our chapter board, and you really challenged us to dream big. And I wonder if you'll share, why is this so important to you?
Yes, I'd love to, Annette. I did want to say that me and David were coordinating our colors today, but I can tell you that he looks much better than I do.
I'll pay you later, thank you.
Looking good, man, looking good. Hey, it's just exciting. David's in the house. How cool is that? I give this lady a hug every time I see her because she is truly a remarkable leader, and we could not be so pleased to have her leadership in our chapter. So we love you, Annette. While growing up, my mom had her best and dearest friend, Pam, diagnosed with MS. This was back in the 70s before there were any existing MS therapies. 15 years ago, my wife was diagnosed with MS. Fortunately for her, she had 3 MS therapies available. And just last year, my sister's here with me today, so just last year, we found out that my sister's son, Curtis, was diagnosed with MS. Fortunately, he is taking an MS oral therapy, one of the newest drugs available. I'm so grateful that my wife, LJ, and my sister's son, Curtis, is able to manage their therapy. However, I have met so many remarkable people along the way who have not been as fortunate. That's why a cure cannot come soon enough. Agreed? And our investment in research will help speed this along. Just last November, it was mentioned before at the National MS Conference, I listened to Dr. Jonah Chan, who invented new technologies to stimulate the regrowth of myelin nerve casing. Can you imagine that? This research breakthrough, along with the many promising research studies, provide real hope for our future generations. And I believe that. I have 6 grandkids, and I do not want, as you wouldn't want, any of those to have to deal with this disease. And it's breakthroughs like this that will bring a cure. And it's why I think it is so important that we dream big. Because a cure would certainly be big.
Well said, Bob. And actually, I think a cure would be revolutionary. And I have no doubt, with the power in this room, with the connections that are coming, with research around the world, we're going to get there. This revolution is on, baby. So here we come, right?
Look out.
Look out. So let me ask you this then. A cure would be big, and we set this crazy goal.
Big goal.
So why, then, can you share why the Harmon family decided not only to help us set the goal, but to actually get this party rolling?
Annette, it was a natural and meaningful step for us as a family, one that we are very fortunate to be able to have made. As a family, we look back at how much research has been advanced in the last 20 years, and as David indicated, just the last 5. And we look to the future, uncertain of where this MS was really going to lead us. We thought it was so important to give this Now campaign some legs, a good push, provide some momentum to get this going and allow us to start connecting in the communities, asking others to join in this fight. So as a family, we decided to make a lead gift to Now Research campaign and start us down the road to finding answers to stop the progress, restore the damage that has been done, and to end MS forever. Thank you.
Bob, I have to say thank, and I'm going to ask you to give him one of those good old Harmon hug loves right back. Because, you know, the Harmon family, Bob, your mom, Doreen, Jamie, Randy, all of the Harmons have a picture similar to the Osmonds for your passion, for your commitment to create connections for us to move this research forward into your leadership for this campaign. So give some Harmon love back.
Thank you, Annette, and thank you, Bob, and the many trustees of our chapter who've made personal commitment to do something about MS now. It is truly amazing. Thank you very much. I having 2 daughters as well, I have that passion to not even give them the chance of having it. And girls, women have MS about 3 to 1 over men. And so I, having these two little girls, think about it every day. And the mere fact that there is such a commitment now for primary progressive MS, that's the kind that my father has, and is such a cool thing to hear. And what an inspiring conference there was this year at the Leadership Conference to hear about the new breakthroughs in remyelination and such. It's so cool. It is, again, to reiterate, it's actually a good time to have MS. This is cool. It sounds stupid to say that, I know, but and this Now campaign is just brilliant. Phil Kogan from The Amazing Race, the host of that, was really the brains behind this operation. He's a huge proponent of MS and finding the cure. And I was with him this last year, and he came up to me and says, "You know what, David, you really need to get on The Amazing Race." No, I swear he did. I'm like, are you serious? He goes, "Yeah, I've been pushing for years to get the producers to put someone with MS on so we can get some advocacy work, some awareness." I'm like, "You and your uncle should come on and do it. It'd be awesome." I'm like, "Phil, we would suck." And he goes, "I know. That's what would make it such great television." No, thanks. Anyway, moving on. As you know, research is incredibly important to me as well. After all, research will ultimately end this terrible disease once and for all. Until we find that cure, there are countless people in our communities that are diagnosed with MS every single day. I believe it was somewhere around the number of every single hour, at least, someone new is diagnosed with MS. Or those who find themselves suddenly without a support network or face seemingly unsurmountable challenges happens every day as well. I think it's time we celebrate how the society has made a difference by connecting with people right here at home. What do you think? With that, I would like to welcome our chapter's very own services manager, Mackenzie Heido.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie. When someone with MS calls, emails, or walks into one of our chapter offices, sometimes they're just curious to learn more about what we do. Often, however, they come in with questions or problems that all of us here are all too familiar with. Questions like, "I've just been diagnosed with MS. What's next?" Or, "I can no longer work, so how am I going to take care of my family?" Or really troubling concerns like, "I'm just too tired to keep up with my life or my children or to do the things that I love doing." Since moving to our new office on Foothill Drive, we've had dozens of visitors, which we have loved. So when someone comes through our door, I'm one of the lucky staff members who gets to sit down and meet with them. I sit down and I listen to your lives, your struggles, and I hope that I can also provide a little bit of support and relief. I love what David said a couple of times now, that now is a good time to be diagnosed with MS because there are so many resources and opportunities to connect to others and find support and strength, and also to have information to help us better manage the disease and the symptoms that come. Also, I just want to give a shout out to the Boise community that's with us today and say that many of you are also very fortunate to have met the lovely Megan Nettleton, who's facilitating your viewing party in Boise. She's in our office there. Yeah. I haven't met you in Boise yet, but I'm so excited to one day maybe they'll let me go up there. So people with MS can also call our 1-800 number. It's 1-800-FIGHT-MS. And I know that you are probably a little skeptical because it is a 1-800 number, but you can rest assured that it's actually our information resource center, and it's staffed with people that we refer to as MS navigators. And each of you actually have a card at your seat to take with you, give to a friend if you don't need it. I work with our MS navigators on a weekly, if not daily basis, and I can tell you that they are some of the warmest, most compassionate people that you will meet, and they have an impressive level of expertise with all things MS. So in 2013, hundreds of callers just from our chapter connected with these MS navigators. They received information and resources and services. In our programs department, where I work, we work really hard to not only identify, but to educate healthcare professionals and community service providers about MS and about the unique challenges that someone living with MS might face. So that when you call our MS navigators and you're looking for information or resources, you can have them handed to you. We've done the work, we've identified, we've educated, hopefully taking out some of the frustration that might come when trying to look for those resources in the midst of dealing with everything else that MS can bring. One of our great connection stories of 2013 is of a woman who was diagnosed with MS last fall. Her story is actually highlighted on page 3 of your annual report. But immediately after she was diagnosed, she took the initiative to visit one of our chapter offices. She got lots of information about the local programs that we offer. And she also called one of our MS navigators and got some really great materials, publications to help her discuss MS with her children. And she also learned about what I think is one of our coolest services is we have a partnership with an organization called Financial Education Partners. It's an organization of financial service professionals who offer pro bono financial planning and guidance to individuals with either special health or financial circumstances. So we connected her with one of our chapter's financial education partners, and he spent a significant amount of time with her, giving her feedback and guidance about her family's financial plan. And I love this story because I think it's a great example of the things that can happen when someone reaches out to us. When a person is so overwhelmed with multiple issues or complex situations that they don't feel like they can handle it on their own, the MS Navigator will connect that person to our chapter, and we work together to prioritize and problem solve and identify local community and chapter resources to help them meet their needs. You don't have to do it alone. That's why we're here. Why we work hard every day. Last year, we received a request from a couple living in rural Idaho. The wife has progressive MS, and the husband is battling lung cancer. They requested financial assistance to repair a leak in their roof that had caused extensive mold damage on their ceiling. They actually submitted pictures with their application, and it was horrible. And not only was it a significant health risk, but they didn't have the financial resources that they needed to repair that roof. And they were devastated at the thought of losing their home. And this is where they wanted to spend the rest of their lives. So when they reached out to us, we were able to provide a portion of the financial assistance that they needed towards the materials to repair their roof. And then we helped them to locate other community agencies to request help. We negotiated a discount with the vendor, and they provided a free delivery of the materials. And then we took the remainder of the cost that we were needing to pay for to our national program, Stepping Stones, and they covered that remainder of the cost. So last fall, they were actually able to have the help of their friends and family, and they were able to repair the roof. They patched up the leak in the roof and replaced the mold-damaged ceiling tiles, and just in time for winter. It was really great that we were able to wrap up that project in time. And this isn't in my script, but I have to say it. Last year, I was at the registration desk at Bike MS, my first time. I've been with the society for a few years, and I was at the table where people who had gone above and beyond the fundraising mark came in and registered. For those of you that are here that have fundraised, whether it's walk or bike or whatever you've done to spread awareness and raise funds, the reason that I get to do what I do and what we do in our department to help people with MS and to meet these kinds of needs is because you're out there fundraising, you're walking, you're riding, and you're spreading awareness. So I want to thank you. Let's just, another round of applause, please. I'm really touched by the possibilities that we have to help when we connect, and it's because of you. So I'll go back to my script now. So let's see. As we all know, MS affects everyone in the family, not just the person with the diagnosis. And sometimes the burden of MS is just too much for the family to handle on its own. And at that point, too, the chapter can help. What we do, it starts with a home visit through one of our outstanding community care management professionals. As an example, last spring we were contacted by a woman whose husband has MS. He had been hospitalized with some unrelated medical issues, but during that time he'd actually experienced some complications with his MS, and that had resulted in a pretty drastic decrease in his mobility. So when she contacted us, he was in a rehab facility, and she was wondering, okay, how am I going to bring him home? How am I going to take care of him? And do I have the resources that I need to afford and carry out these modifications that I'll need to bring him home? So we connected her with Michael Workman, who's one of our outstanding community partners with professional therapies, and he did a home assessment. He gave her training and recommendations. He actually is a past recipient of our chapter's Above and Beyond Award, which is given every year at our Dinner of Champions. And in true Michael Workman fashion, he went above and beyond, and he was able to get over $20,000 worth of medical equipment donated through Ability Found to help her husband come home. And I talked with him just the other day to find out how their family was doing and to make sure that I was actually giving you the correct story with the outcome of how that's made a difference. And when he was talking about his wife, he referred to her as his angel, and I thought it was so sweet. And though the monetary value, you can put a price tag on the cost of the services and the equipment, but I think the true value is the difference that it made between him spending possibly the rest of his life in an assisted living facility and being able to come home and be with his sweet angel. And I share this story with you because it's a powerful example of how the connections in our community can yield life-changing outcomes. As anyone on our staff can tell you, I love telling stories about how people's lives are changed by programs and services, by the connections that they make with each other, and the connections that they make to the MS movement. And although the themes of our future annual celebrations and meetings will change, this year, of course, is connections, I can tell you that the power of our connections is and will continue to be the driving force in our everyday work. So thank you.
Thank you, Mackenzie. It's comforting to know, as someone with MS, to know that there's people like you out there to help with services and all the programs that so many of us desperately need. I had a chance this last year to be in Denver at one of the headquarters, at one of the call centers with a lot of the navigators that she talks about, and actually be online listening to a couple phone calls that people who called in with different challenges, whether it be financial or just needing assistance or needing programs. And it was so amazing to hear from so many people across the globe of the challenges that we all have in common with multiple sclerosis and also uniquely. And it's because of their department that they help alleviate a lot of that pain that so many are going through and the needs that are so necessary now. We want a cure, we want it now, but we also sometimes need help in the moment, immediately now, with so many different things. So it's such a necessary department. So thank you again, Mackenzie. Give her one more round of applause. Really, really cool. All right. Have you guys ever thought about how we pay for that help? Or how we raise all the money to fund research? It's all about connections, too. So to share more, please welcome our Vice President of the Utah Southern Idaho Chapter, Becky Little. Give it up for her.
You should have stayed and sang that money, money, money part. How about that, David? He is awesome. And David's right. Funding research and providing services to the MS community isn't free. But lucky for us, we had over 10,000 people participate in Bike and Walk last year who connected with over 20,000 donors to raise over $2 million in 2013. Over 800 people attended our gala events. 20 foundations believed in our cause when we submitted grants, and over 50 corporate partners underwrote our events so that we could put them on and put all those dollars right back to the cause. Over 800 volunteers donated their time to help us execute these events and other activities at our chapter. With each one of those people participating, helping, donating, or supporting in some way, a new connection is made and helps spread the awareness a little bit further about what MS is and how the society can help. You have the amazing results of our year in front of you in the annual report, which I think you've all seen a couple times now, so I hope you're anxious to just page right on through. You can see exactly how our events performed and how we put the dollars to work. What I want to share with you is about how our events are so much more than just about meeting our bottom line. The connections that happen at these events are truly something really, really special. And you never know what's going to happen at these events and the impact that they can have that you aren't even aware of. At Walk MS, Tara Hoppy, she's one of our team captains, and I haven't seen Tara this morning, but if she's here, I hope she'll raise her hand. But Tara Hoppy's been a team captain for Team Rock On for many years. Tara, like many people who live with MS, she spends her time reading blogs online and seeing how other people are coping with the disease. A couple of years ago, she stumbled upon a blog written by a man whose wife has MS. And in his blog, he talks a lot about their daily struggles and how he supports her, and their ups and downs, but how they're moving on. Tara was so touched by what he wrote that she commented on his blog one day, and she shared her story with him and thanked him for the support he's showing his wife. Coincidentally, across the world, a woman in Estonia named Alex happened to be reading the same blog. Alex saw Tara's comments, and she was deeply touched because Alex was newly diagnosed with MS, and she was desperate to connect with other people. She sought Tara out online. She found her through social media, and they connected. The slide that's coming up next is a picture of Tara Hoppy's team table at Walk MS last spring, and she shared a little bit about Alex's story, and I'm just going to read it to you. She says, in Estonia, chronic diseases and those who have them are looked at as useless to society. In Alex's country, there is not much support for MS patients. She has had to keep her MS a secret. The idea of having a public event like Walk MS is unthinkable. Can you imagine? Tara adopted Alex as a virtual member of her Walk MS team. They've shared stories and experiences, and Alex gets to provide input on their team t-shirts and the team name and anything else that they need. In the summer of 2012, Tara and Alex got to meet in San Francisco. And just this past summer, Alex was a bridesmaid in Tara's wedding. Walk MS provided an outlet for someone who needed it and a friendship that will last a lifetime. As Tara once told me, Walk MS is one day a year where you see all the people who are in the same boat as you, and it's wonderful to be together. Thank you, Tara, and all of Team Rock On for connecting us to the world. Don't just ride, Bike MS became the new slogan for Bike MS last year. It seemed appropriate because it is more than a ride. It's not just about getting on your bike and pedaling as far as you can go. Bike MS for some people, it's just to check off the bucket list or a milestone, a great goal to train for. It might be a family reunion. And for others, Bike MS is a way to fight back. But connections happen at Bike MS, and it has become a magical, very important part of the MS movement. It's also generated incredible energy for our chapter, to the tune of about $1.5 million plus every year. Nobody embodies this Bike MS spirit more than our team captains. I'd like to talk about one in particular. Her name is Ann Hoffman, and I know I saw her sneak in right before we started today. Ann leads Team Badass Coffee, which has been one of our top fundraising teams. So it's really their name, Team Badass Coffee, and badass they are. They've been one of our top fundraising teams for many years, but it's not just the fundraising that makes them so incredible. Ann has a special ability to connect with people and inspire people to do more and to do good. And she instills that in every one of her team members. And there are countless stories. Every time I visit with her, I learn a new one of her picking up riders along the road who might have been left behind by another team, or of her team members literally meeting people on the streets and her welcoming them to their team with her open arms, which is exactly how they found our top fundraiser for the last 4 years named Willie Blocker. There's Willie. Even in our staff meeting when we talked about Ann, one of our coworkers said, "Oh, I knew her before I was even involved, and she was always so willing to share and support. But I think the line that really resonated with me when I was visiting with Anne's team members is they told me that she helped me feel like I was someone important, and she pushed me to reach goals I never knew I had in me. And that's the special magic that happens at Bike MS, thanks to our amazing riders and our team captains. And I know there are many more Anns in the making out there. As I said, connections happen at Bike MS. And if you didn't know, less than half of our participants actually have a direct connection to multiple sclerosis. Some are there just for the fun of it. But those who do have a connection is often deep and personal. One of our rookie teams last year, Chris's Crank Mob, was formed by Diane Driggs. Diane formed the team in honor of her sister who battled MS for 10 years. And Chris passed away suddenly last year. When Diane was talking about her team and why it was so important, she said, "As we've mourned together, we decided that forming a team and doing our part to fight MS would be a very good way to help us heal from this tragic loss while honoring Chris and what she meant to all of us." Sometimes the connections we discover at our events are much simpler. Like our WOMS committee. WOMS, that's our internal language. The Women on the Move luncheon. Our Women on the Move committee member, Stacy Orchard, who's sitting right over here. You didn't know you were going to be in here, did you? Surprise! Just last month, Stacy was out recruiting new vendors to participate at our boutique. The Women on the Move Gala comes up next month, February 22nd, if you need to save the date and you'd like to attend. And when Stacy was talking to vendors and asking them if they would come join us and donate a portion of their proceeds, she met somebody new whose sister-in-law has MS. And now they'll both be attending the luncheon next month. And that's 2 new people connected to the cause and a part of the MS community. My favorite connections that happen, though, are the ones that have an impact and you don't even realize it at the time. Personally, every year, I fundraise for Bike MS through my team, Yell for Kel. And I'm not shy. I solicit everywhere. I post it everywhere. I talk about it all the time. And about 4 years ago, I received a donation through Facebook from an old college friend, and her name is Suzanne. Suzanne's not someone I probably would have sent an email to because we don't talk much. But you can bet now that she's donated, I do email her every year. And you all should too if you are new to fundraising. That's a good tip. This spring when I started my campaign, I sent out monthly updates, and I just shared our progress, and I shared some stories like Mackenzie just told you about what's happening in our chapter and how we're making a difference in people's lives. And after the event, I sent out a big thank you about the success and how our team did personally and how my friend Kelly rode 75 miles. And little did I know, my friend Suzanne had been forwarding each one of my emails to one of her coworkers who lives in Oregon and suffers with MS. Suzanne, after I sent that last email, forwarded me an email from him. He said, "Please send a very heartfelt thank you to your friend Becky and all of her colleagues on my behalf. It is the emails, stories, and support like this from so many individuals directly affected, and some not directly affected, by the MS disease that truly gives all of us with MS such hope for change, and their efforts are so appreciated." When I set out on this journey to fundraise, I'll admit my motives were pretty selfish. I just wanted to help us reach our fundraising goals because my job was kind of on the line. I had no idea the impact our efforts would have, that it could provide an outlet for someone in Estonia, that it could inspire someone to achieve new goals they didn't know they had, or provide hope for someone in Oregon. So for all of you who helped us this year, if you participated, donated, volunteered, supported, or gave in any other way, thank you, because we are making a difference in people's lives, and that's something to celebrate.
Thank you, Becky. Raising $2.7 million is something absolutely we should celebrate. Each year, $2.7 million. Give it up. That's amazing. Great job. You know, You know, when you spoke about Alex in Estonia, it reminded me of my dad when I was just a kid, because, you know, she mentioned how it's not commonplace to come out with the disease like that because it's looked down upon. When my dad was first newly diagnosed, he didn't come out with it. He hid it for quite a while because it wasn't that outward of a symptom. People couldn't technically see what was happening. Maybe those that were close to him could, but he was worried about the perception. You know, what would people think? And people don't know what MS is. It's new. It might scare people. You know, I don't even know how to explain it. And there came a time after a few years that one of the trash magazines out there, one of the, you know, the Inquirer type magazines, somehow caught wind of it and actually contacted my dad and said, listen, you're going to come out with your story tomorrow, or we're going to write our own story about it, and it's not going to be pretty. Basically threatened him about how they were going to portray MS, and that's the last thing he wanted. He didn't want people to have fear for him, or you know, he didn't know what to do. And that's when he did contact his friend Annette Funicello and said, what should I do? How should I handle this? And she said, Alan, the best thing you can do is come out with it. You take the stand. You share your perspective, your side of the story. And he absolutely did. Entertainment Tonight came that night and did a big story the first time on my dad. In the mid-'90s is when it came out. And it was the best thing he did. Because all of a sudden, it opened the floodgate to so many worldwide that had this, that wanted to connect, that wanted to be on the same page and communicate. And boy, it's made such a huge difference. And nowadays, to be able to come out with it is strength in numbers. There's more people that have MS than we realize. And a lot of people that live with it that can hide it pretty well. Yet it is such a part of their life they have to overcome. So coming out with it, sharing it, coming together, connecting is making huge waves. And it's bringing an awareness to people worldwide, even in places where it's looked down upon. So thank you for all that you do in raising that money. It does take the almighty dollar, and it's the hard part, but it's such a necessary thing. So thank you one more time. Okay. I've really looked forward to this part of the event. It's a chance to meet and congratulate some of the faces of the MS movement. It's time for the 2013 Impact Awards. 13, right? Last year awards? Okay, I want to make sure I'm up to speed on this. The Impact Awards recognize people who this past year have made a distinct and significant difference for our chapter and the MS community at large. Chapter President Annette Royal Mitchell and Board Chair Sophia Keller will hand out the awards. For those recipients who are present, please come up to the stage so that we can take our social media picture with you. Because it might just connect with someone in Oregon. Up first is our Volunteer of the Year, known as the Norman Cohn Hope Award, which is given out annually in every single chapter across the nation. This is a big deal. This year's recipient has been involved for 8 years in the Sun Valley area. After her stepkids were diagnosed with MS, she jumped in with both feet and launched Walk MS in Wood River. Since 2005, she's raised over $25,000 annually by engaging her community, family and friends to support multiple sclerosis. It's a big, big effort. As many of you who volunteer know, sometimes life has a way of dropping obstacles in front of you, which challenge you to question your commitments and your capacity throughout life. This late summer, a raging forest fire swept through the Sun Valley area. It wreaked havoc on the local economy. It was so bad, the town was evacuated, tourism dove, and the skies were dense with a relentless smoke. Simultaneously, her husband had back surgery. For all of you who are caregivers, I'm sure you can understand when I say life dropped some pretty steep obstacles in the way. But this incredible woman, she persevered. With only 3 weeks of lead time, she put together a Walk MS in Sun Valley and raised another astonishing $25,000 in 2013, despite all the challenges on her plate. Everybody, yes. And everybody, though I know she couldn't make it here this morning, I would hope you would join me in thanking and congratulating this 2013 winner of the Norman Cohn Hope Award. Let's make some noise for her. It's Nancy Ferries. Yeah, Nancy! Thank you for all that you do and all those who have donated alongside her. It has made such a huge difference, and for that area. Thank you so much. The National MS Society presents the J. Germankin Award every year to a volunteer leader who emulates the vision and passion that Jay has provided. This chapter for nearly 2 decades. And what a great attitude he has, and a good sense of humor, obviously. He's a good guy. He's an amazing dude. Joining me to present is the very man the award was named. Please welcome to the stage Jay Germankin. I hope I didn't mess the name up. This is a fantastic award, and this recipient is so honorable. This year's recipient is someone many of you know well. Indeed, he's been a trusted advisor to thousands as they face the world with an MS diagnosis. In addition to the clinical care he provides, as one of the most respected MS specialists, his leadership is being recognized today for the work he's done in research to find a cure. Our recipient recently concluded his 6-year term on the RPAC, the National Research Programs Advisory Committee, where he played a critical role as a leader, guiding the priorities of the Society's research portfolio. This is a huge department, and so many of us are applauding them to find this cure. For perspective, during this time, more progress has been made in the world of MS research than virtually any other time in history. It's happening like a hockey stick. It's that moment of just explosion in research where we start to cruise really fast, and he's at the helm. Prior to serving on the RPAC, he served on the Fellowship Review Committee, the group that focused on recruiting young professionals to the field of MS. And today, he himself continues as an investigator in numerous MS research studies. As a quick side note, he's also my dad's personal neurologist. The winner of the 2013 J. Germankin Award is none other than Dr. John Rose.
I've just been given about a minute to say a couple things. First of all, Dr. Rose is my doctor, and First of all, I want to say 2 things really quickly. First of all, Dr. Rose is my doctor, and I'll just say this. If someone wrote a novel about a community and there were a doctor in there that had very little interest in his own aggrandizement, but cared deeply about research, cared deeply about people, and spent so much of his time volunteering, nobody would believe that character really existed. But it does. It's Dr. Rose, and he lives in our community. And the idea that an award is named after me is kind of laughable to me. But the idea that I would be giving an award in my name to Dr. Rose is quite an honor for me. The only other thing I want to say, I got up this morning and I was kind of laughing. I've lived many lives. I was lucky at it. Disease didn't really affect me very much until I was in my early 50s. In the 70s, I moved from Philadelphia, where I grew up, to California. I lived in Manhattan Beach. At that time, I had a big head of hair, a big mustache, and I looked remarkably like a musician named Frank Zappa. And
wow.
I won't go into my lifestyle then. I won't talk about my musical taste, but if my friends and I were sitting around and doing whatever we did, and I said, someday I'm going to be up on the stage with an Osmond, I would not be here because I would have died of laughing uncontrollably. Having said that,
I believe in change. Let's just put it that way.
As do I. Having said that, it's an honor to meet you.
Thank you,
I know
Jay.
you're talented. I've heard great things about you. I look forward to getting to know you better.
Absolutely.
And I just
we'll
wish
rock out together.
Just wish we didn't have this in common.
Yeah.
Dr. Rose.
Thank you, Jay. One more.
It's a great honor to be a recipient of this award, and it's particularly poignant for me because, some people are wise or sagacious, some people are brilliant, some people are inspirational. Like we have the trifecta right here.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Jay.
Thank you. Thank you.
MS Society.
And thank you once more to Dr. Rose, our recipient. And thank you for all you do and continue to do. Oh, yeah. Can we take a picture? This is for my Facebook. You ready? Nice. Nice. Proof that you were on stage with an Osmond. Proof. Thank you, Jay. Thanks for all that you do. Thank you. You know, I was always told that if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And with Dr. Rose and Jay, we are definitely all in the right room. These guys are brilliant, and they're just incredible men. I know, Dr. Rose, later, I believe you're going to be speaking a little bit to a select group, a few of us, about the research and where things are headed, where we're at. Is that correct? Awesome. Fantastic. Look forward to hearing that. Thank you so much. You've already heard a little bit about our next Impact Award recipient, a tireless and selfless leader. Her impact is perhaps best described by some on her team members as, Anne's 10,000 megawatt smile is a mirror of her 10,000 megawatt heart. And that's just the kind of impact we love to have from a leader in our movement. Please give a giant round of applause to Impact Award recipient and team captain of Badass Coffee, Ann Hoffman. Give it up for her. Ann, come on up. There she is. She was back there brewing for all of us, right? Yeah. Is that how your team gets so much energy to go the distance? It's all in the name. Fantastic. Congratulations. Thank you for all that you do. You have a bigger smile than I do. 20,000 megawatt. I sleep with hangers in my mouth. There you go. One more round of applause. Thank you so much. Hey, Ann, do you have a tandem bike that I might be able to ride with you this next year? I think that's the best way to do it, right? Lead on out. Our next Impact Award winner has volunteered for several years and is perhaps best known as a special event leader in this role, of which only a handful of volunteers hold. They act as an extension of society staff at major events to help manage and lead other volunteers. This individual does even more than that. He captains his own Walk MS team in honor of his father, serves on the Walk MS committee, acted as a mentor to new team captains, and this year, when he learned we were short a coordinator for Walk MS in Twin Falls, he called his mom, who eagerly jumped in to lead a wonderful, wonderful event. Thank you so much for all you do, for all of us, and for the incredible impact you've made on this community. Everybody, please congratulate Abram Jones. Thorns amongst the roses. Let's get this guy an orange shirt. Thanks, Abram. One more round of applause. All right, all right. You guys still having fun? You with us? Yeah, hey. Say what's up. Say what's up. This side, say, oh, oh, oh. This side, oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, you New Kids on the Block fans. I know you're out there. You know it. Dude, how old are you? 12. You're 12. Do you know the New Kids on the Block? No. You do now. Someone educate that guy. Classic. Best music ever. You were a fan too, come on. This individual became a supporter of our chapter when he joined 2012 Bike MS in honor of his late brother Rick. Since then, he's volunteered on committees, raised for Walk and Bike MS, where he won top rookie team at Bike MS. Harmon's best damn bike ride. Is that right? That's correct. Woo! It was written. I didn't swear. It's the copy. It's a biblical swear. And was an MS ambassador for us in southern Idaho. He inspires us constantly about his involvement with the society in his blog. One article was so moving, it was published in Momentum, the national publication for the National MS Society. He's an integral part of our success, all the way from my favorite city on the planet, Boise, Idaho. Please join me in applauding Impact Award recipient Rex Parker. Yeah, Idaho in the house! Love you guys. Rex here? You don't see him, but he's standing up right now taking bows in Boise, Idaho. So thank you, Rex. Thank you for all that you do. This next individual, works tirelessly to help those with MS like herself in Idaho Falls. She's also a support group leader, an MS advocate, and even traveled to Washington, D.C. with our chapter to attend a public policy conference to represent the needs of people with MS. She's a top fundraiser for Walk MS, and she's our Walk MS Idaho Falls volunteer coordinator. Always creative, always compassionate, with a heart so big you can hear it a mile away. We're inspired every day by her commitment to help those who live with multiple sclerosis. I'm proud to give this Impact Award to Susan Miller. Susan's tuning in from Florida. So, let's make some noise. Show her the love. Susan Miller! Corporate partners. Corporate partners are a key part of this great MS movement, and they're so vital. They help underwrite events so that every dollar you raise goes straight to the cause. However, finding new partners isn't the easiest road to travel. So you can imagine how ecstatic the staff is when a company reaches out to them first. That's exactly what happened with our next recipient last March. By the end of that first lunch meeting, they had committed to provide crucial supplies for Walk MS and Bike MS, which saved the chapter over $7,500. But it didn't stop there. They also formed the Modern Superheroes Walk MS team, a 9-member group who raised over $3,300 in just 1 month. Their commitment and intensity, earned Walk MS Rookie Team of the Year. Everyone, you got to give it up for these guys. Please join me as we recognize Impact Award winners, Modern Expo and Events. Thank you so much. That's a big deal. For a company to take the initiative to pick up the phone and say, hey, look, there's a problem. We want to be involved. Sarah and the entire team, are you coming up? Thank you so much for all that you do at Modern Expo and for the world of MS. Thank you, guys. I'm the thorn here amongst the roses. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys one more time for all that you do. And sometimes the support of corporate partners isn't nearly as visible as the case with this next Impact Award recipient. As an employer, they've made generous accommodations to support employees with disabilities, providing a model many could learn from. In addition, they generously donate their big conference room for our board meetings, participate in our gala events, and last year they provided pro bono services exceeding $14,000. We're so grateful to everything that you guys do. Please join me in honoring this Impact Award recipient, the folk duo, the law firm Holland and Hart. Holland and Hart. So you are a rocker. Holland and Hart. Opening for Hall & Oates. Thank you so much. One more time, get up for Jay, the man, the legend. Hey, Jay. How about, let's give one more big round of applause to all of our Impact Award recipients. They're incredible. Idaho, Florida, representing. As they say, it takes a village, and you guys here today are one fantastic village. God bless you guys. Before we wrap up here today to share a truly moving story of connection, please welcome two brothers, joined at the hip, Bob and Thomas Welker. As one with 7 brothers, I can tell you I know the power of that connection and the bond that you guys share. I've heard a lot about your story and who you guys are, and as I said, I meet someone every single day that inspires me, and you guys are definitely at the top of the list. Thank you for all that you do. One more time, please give it up for Bob and Thomas Welker. He told us he wanted to take the stairs. I think he deserves a massive round of applause for that. God bless you guys. I love that stubborn attitude, man. That's what I'm known for.
Thank you. Wish I could have you guys follow me around every day in life. So like David said, my name is Bob Welker, team captain of Bob's Army and namesake, and this is my brother Thomas. I'll apologize ahead of time. I have a hard time getting through this. So I was diagnosed with primary progressive MS January 19th, 2007 at the age of 24. Because of the aggressive nature of my MS, the prognosis wasn't very good. I was expected to be wheelchair-bound and not self-sufficient in 2 to 3 years. I was devastated. I wasn't okay with this and wasn't willing to accept it. So I started looking for ways to fight back. This is when I came across the National MS Society and the Walk MS event. What better way to fight back a disabling disease than walking? It was exactly what I was looking for. Unfortunately, the 2007 Walk MS event had already passed. I was going to have to wait for the next year. After what seemed like an eternity, 2008 finally came. In January, I started into a training plan that I had made for myself. During an appointment with my MS doctor, I informed him of my intentions to participate in the Walk MS. His response was to not get my hopes up, and he didn't think my body would be able to hold up walking that far. And I'm sure my parents will back me up on this. I'm not one for being told no. So after 4 months of training in physical therapy, I was ready to get my walk on. Walk MS 2008 was finally here. My family and I were there, ready to go. Our custom t-shirts that said all about Bob. Because at the time, it was all about me. I had decided to fight and had something to prove, not only to my doctor, but to myself as well. Sorry. By the time most of the people were finishing, my group was just making it to the park. If any of you have done the walk before, you know that's about halfway. This is where I had the pleasure of meeting Bob and Randy Armin. They were there, gave us some fruit and some granola bars, cheered us on our way. Their energy and excitement gave me the much-needed boost to make it the rest of the way. As we approached the finish line, I noticed a handful of volunteers and society staff waiting for me. The event was over, everything was cleaned up, everyone had gone home. But these people had stuck around to cheer me on at the mock finish line. It was at that moment where I realized I was part of something great, something much bigger than myself. I had made connections that would last a lifetime, and not even MS could destroy.
Sorry. Growing up, it was always me making Bob cry, so now I guess the tables are turned. Bob's Army walk and bike teams have participated in over a dozen events in over 3 states. And in 3 months, one of our team members will participate in the Boston Marathon, raising money for the Massachusetts chapter of MS Society. Having been to this many events, become pretty familiar with the local chapter staff, make personal connections with them. Last January, I was laid off from my job. My wife reached out to a few of the staff that we'd made a connection with. We found out that there was a position open, and I applied for it. I've now been with the chapter for almost a year, and I'm so grateful to see firsthand the amazing work that the society does. Sorry. I'm most inspired by their dedication to research. Research is how we will change the lives of those we serve forever. It's research to not only stop the disease in its tracks, but research to repair damage that has been done. And it's this research that I hope will one day allow my brother to be more active again. Research that will allow us to hike together, to bike together. And one day will allow Uncle Bobby to play soccer with his niece and nephew.
Because of this commitment to research, for the first time in history, research is being done for secondary progressive and primary progressive types of MS. Currently, there is no approved treatment for these types of MS. What this means for me is any treatment I do comes with fingers crossed, wish upon a star, shot in the dark. I feel great to know there are people out there working very hard to change that. I now have hope for the future, hope that I will be able to live a normal life again. Hope that no one else will have to hear the words, "You have MS." Thank you.
This right here is what it's all about. This is why we are here today. And to hear the news this last year that the MS Society is putting such a focus on research for primary progressive, just like my father, it warmed my soul to the core. This truly is remarkable. I'm honored to have been able to rub shoulders with you guys, to feel of your spirit, to feel of that love. This is why we're here. And boy, we're going to get there. We're going to make it possible. And I have such hope and such faith in you and in all of you. And together is what's going to make this possible. I truly am honored to even just be a fly on the wall today to experience that again, as I have over the last 8 years, time and time and time again, from so many powerful individuals that I look up to, my heroes, that have such a stubborn determination to say, there's a problem here. We got to fix it, and we're going to. And God willing, that will be the case, and we will eradicate this stupid disease before we know it, if we stay the course, if we keep fighting and be tough together. Please give all of yourselves a huge round of applause. Thank you so much for being here this morning. This will conclude our morning here in this room. And one more time for Thomas and Bob Welker, my champions. These guys are unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless you guys.
Everyone, another round of applause for David. David Osmond, everybody. Give it up. Come on. What an incredible job. Thank you, David. Thanks to everyone for your support of our chapter. Just a quick note, if you're attending our Walk and Bike MS kickoff, we'll be back here in 15 minutes. If you have an orange dot and are attending the Progressive Research presentation breakout, it will start in 15 minutes in the Alpine room, which is out the doors, and our staff can show you where it's at. And also be sure to stop by our vendor expo and say hello to those guys. And if you haven't had a chance to register for Walk or Bike MS, you can do it in the lobby today. Anyway, we'll be back in 15 minutes. Thanks again, folks. We appreciate it.